Aloha Ukulele Magazine. I am so incredibly excited to talk more about some of the examples that I walked through in my teaching article that just came out. So one of the things that I do want to remind you is that there's multiple ways of teaching, and just some of the different ideas that Craig and I gave in the article are just tools, and some might work for you and some might not. You'll find what works best for you and your student. I always say for myself, the golden rule is be kind. Not only be kind to your student, obviously, but be kind to yourself too. You're a teacher and you're still a student and you're still learning. So that's at least how I think of it. I'm still learning even as a teacher because every student is different and I always learn new lessons from all of my students. So moving on, our very first example, what I have us doing is something kind of complicated. We're going from an F minor 7 chord to another F minor 7 to a B flat 7. Okay, now in the article I walked through it, but let me actually just show you because sometimes this kind of thing is much easier when shown. So I'm holding my F minor 7, 1, 3, 1, 3, and I'm going to be moving it up to the other F minor 7, which is going to be 5, 5, 4, and 6. Now for me, I try to think of what does not need to lift up. And in this case, look at my C string and my A string. If I take this shape and I move up, these two fingers did not lift up at all, my ring and my pinky. So first step for me is kind of creating a warm-up exercise where I go from here to here. Here, move up just to the fingers. Here and here. And I would do that a whole bunch of times before then looking at it and going, okay, I can now add these two fingers. And even still, holding these two, I could even do a little warm-up for myself where I can just go up and down, reminding myself these two groupings go together in this shape. And then down here, move up, add these two. Down here, move up, add these two. And again, I'm not strumming. I'm just trying to go through methodically. Eventually, you want it to be one smooth movement. Here and here, here and here, here and here. But, see, pinky didn't go up here and here. So with this, again, I'm not strumming. I'm really focusing on that hand. Then I can bring the other hand to here, making sure that everything is smooth. Then I can work on the next transition. The next transition going from here to my B flat 7. 3, 5, 4, and 5. Again, look at what doesn't need to move. My ring and my pinky, yet again, they are the ones that get to stay on the strings. So going from here, all I'm doing is just moving my pinky down. So again, here, pinky down. Here, pinky down. And then, I need to lift him up. And then these two fingers do a little swap. And you can even practice doing this little swap like that so that you've got these two guys, just while you're watching TV. And you can even make this horrible sound this is making. But as the chord, it sounds really lovely. And then, of course, so we'll go from here, here, and then going to our chord. And you can practice that multiple times, doing it step by step. Eventually, you'll want it to be a smooth movement. Again, going from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. And it's all smooth. And then, of course, and then put it together. And then you've got your transitions. Now, I know that this might seem like, oh my gosh, you're doing each transition that way. I'm really doing this for transitions that I find difficult, and I chose this as my example. You might find that going from the first one to that first F minor 7 to the second F minor 7, you pick up quick. But maybe there's a hiccup that happens within your fingers going from the F minor 7 in that next position to B flat 7. Again, pick the transitions that give you the most difficulty or give your student the most difficulty and just try to work with them and look at what could be the most efficient for their fingers, especially contextually with the chords, right? So that is my example and kind of walking through and really honing in and looking at like what you're doing. And then, of course, I cite some warm-up exercise things. One in particular is one that Craig has actually done for the magazine before. I'm going to just walk through it very, very briefly. There is a sort of tablature version of it that we've got, but basically this came from a cello exercise that Craig used to do when he played cello, and he moved it to ukulele. We have you doing it only on the A string. You can do it on the other strings too if you want. It's for us, it's really, if you can do it all on the A string, then you're practicing what we're really needing you to do. But I do know sometimes people like feeling what it's like on your other strings, and you can absolutely do that. So in this one, we call this our 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise. What you're going to do is your index, anything on the first fret is going to be your index, second fret, third fret, fourth fret, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's great because it corresponds with the 1, 2, 3, 4 corresponds with your fret number as well as the finger number. So anytime you have a 4, all 4 fingers should be down, not just the pinky. Okay. So when you see 1, 2, 3, 4, everybody stays down. You're not going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how that doesn't look very nice also. And also I'm flying my fingers super far away. Want to keep your fingers close to the fretboard. 1, 2, 3, 4 for your first one. And I'm not picking it just yet because I'm just walking you through the fingerings. Next, for version 2, in this example, you have 1, 4, 3, 4. Notice again that my fingers are all coming down with 1, 4, 3, 4. Okay, then you have 1, 3, 2, 3. So, 1, 4, 3, 4. Then 1, 4, 2, 4. 1 again. 1, 4, 2, 4. 1, 4, 2, 4. Then 1, 3, 2, 3. 1, 3, 2, 3. And of course, the very last one is just going to be 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So now that we've walked through each sort of version, let's pick it. And picking, I don't care what finger you use right now. I'm focusing, again, I like to focus one hand at a time. So right now we're focusing on the exercise in this hand. I tend to pick generally with my index and my middle. I can alternate, or I'll just pick with my index. Sometimes I'll also just pick with my middle. But that's just because I have arthritis in my index and it sometimes gives me trouble. Let's give this a try. So starting with 1, 2, 3, 4. Making sure your notes are nice and clear. Again. One last time. I messed up, but that's okay. And then the next version, version 2, 1, 4, 3, 4 again. 1, 4, 3, 4 again. 1. Remember, everyone goes down when it's 4. Last one. 1, 4, 3, 4. Then 1, 4, 2, 4. Try to let everything ring. Then 1, 3, 2, 3. Again. Four, 3, 2, 1. So everybody. Again. Last time. So the great thing about this is you're really working on trying to make sure that you're picking at the same time, and you're letting the notes be legato. You're trying to let them flow into one another. If I was to say for my picking hand, if I was to notice how my finger's coming right back to the string, that doesn't sound good because I'm cutting off the vibration, and because I'm prepping my finger way too early. You want to make sure that it's, and then of course with this hand I could do something similar. It ends up having weird hammer-ons if I put this finger down too early. So you want to make sure that both hands are working accurately together. And then of course that these fingers are all kind of working in tandem when you've got everybody coming down, and keeping your fingers close by. You don't want to be playing and having, look at how much energy that takes, right? So keeping that in mind as you walk through this exercise. I also mentioned too that with this exercise, we can work on dynamics and work on speed. Where I'm going through and I'm saying, okay, all of my threes are going to be quiet. Right, etc. Or I can again, working on dynamics and showcasing, but making deliberate choices, really trying to work on that, as well as tone. These kinds of exercises are great because it's working multiple things, which again, it's it's way better if you have an exercise that can do a bunch of stuff at once, so that you aren't, just learning one trick here or there. The other thing too, I also want to remind you and warn you about when you're doing any kind of warm-up exercise is try to hold the notes as gently as possible. Because I know for myself with this exercise, your index pretty much doesn't ever leave the string. And if you spend your whole time squeezing super, super hard, your index is going to get really sore. And there's no reason it should be sore. It should just be hanging out nice and gentle as you're picking. So if you find yourself squeezing, take a break and just take a deep breath and then let your hand relax again. Because it can be easy when we concentrate, we tend to tighten up, and we want to try to be as relaxed as possible. Now, the other examples that I have, examples 3, 4, and 5, those are going to be C major scale things. And we've talked about these, but I'm going to just briefly go over them because sometimes seeing them is just better than reading them, right? So here we go, your basic C scale. I've got my, the finger assignments that I've done for at least examples 3 and 4 are going to be indexes in charge of the first fret, middle's in charge of the second, rings in charge of third, pinkies in charge of fourth, just like how it was in our last exercise. And I'm going to call out the fret number / finger number, because that's just how it is walking across my C major scale. So I have, again, picking hand, doesn't matter to me, use whatever you are comfortable with. We're really just focusing on this hand right now. Open, 2, next string open, 1, 3, open next string, and then 2 and 3. With your C major scale, yeah, you can run through it real fast, but try to really make sure those notes go into each other. When I'm playing here and I add my 2, I leave that finger down as I play my open E string. So I'm letting this note last as long as it can before I put down my index. And then same here, going over, play my A string while I'm still holding those other notes. And then 2, and then 3. Notice I'm leaving 2 and 3 down because I know I'm going to go backward. All about planning ahead, 1 and 3 together. Oops, that's okay. One more time. Together. There you go, your basic C major scale. And then you can add to that high G, sorry low G folks, you can play it on low G, it just doesn't have quite the same kind of sound. But what we're gonna do is you are gonna add a G note. Now Craig and I always recommend, if you're gonna do this, to have your thumb be assigned to the G string. That's all it plays. Your index, you can have play your other notes, or you can do a mix of other fingers, but the G is always constantly on your G string. So here we go, open C, G string, 2, G string, open A, G string, index, G string, 3, open A, and B, and C, backward 3, 2, open, 3, 1, 2, open, 2, open again, open, 2, open, 1, 3, open, 2, 3, again, backward. Again. Beautiful. So again, that's a plain Jane C major scale, and we're just adding in that G note in between every single note. And it sounds gorgeous. You can speed it up, slow it down, but that kind of gets you used to doing alternating with your thumb, which is a really handy skill. You can also, of course, work on dynamics, working on your tone, also trying to get the notes to be as legato, really let those notes melt into each other. It's just a beautiful way of doing things. Another way that you can also practice your C major scale is instead of going across and kind of being stuck in a position, you can do something where you actually move up your fretboard with it. And the cool thing about this one is, and I as I said in the article, always give credit where credit is due. Abe Lagrimas Jr., he moves so fluidly up and across his fretboard. And this was sort of his first step into getting there. And I learned this from him. So, and it's funny because he didn't have it all tabbed out for me. He just said, okay, this is what I recommend trying out is, when you play your C scale, try to play, 4 notes on one string and going across. You'll find that when you can put in 4 notes on a string, you're going to end up moving up and shifting up your fretboard. And he was not wrong. And you can do that with every single scale on your ukulele. I'm doing it with our C major scale now. And it does mean you're going to be doing some stretching. One thing that I did that this reminded me of a little bit was my violin, where I would do an exercise where I would have my hand and I would have to do this and then this and then this and then this, here and here. So going back and forth with this idea of spread out and then the middle spread out. You're going to have that kind of happening with this. So for example, going through this, I have my open C, 2, and then I have a spread, but then it's right next to it, and then my pinky, sorry. So notice how these 2 fingers are together, like how in that exercise, like this, right? So, and then I'm going to scoot up and my index now moves to the 5th fret of my next string, my E string. I'm going to have that same thing where again, I'm in the middle and then I'm going to move up to my, what is this guy? 7th fret. And here it's going to actually be, my middle fingers will be apart from each other. Yeah. So notice that again, it's very similar and reminiscent of a violin when I used to have to do here, 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 here. So you start off with everything being like this for 2 strings, and then on the A string, these guys get spread apart. So open, 2, and then 4, 5, and then 7. I'm already shifting because I know I'm moving up. So I come up to my 5th fret, shifting up to my 7th fret, remembering that note's right next to it, spreading apart, right? Or going backward. Let's do it again. This time without me making a mistake, hopefully. Already start your shift to the 5th fret. And then we'll go backward. And you just get to move effortlessly up and over so that you can really utilize the entire fretboard and you're not stuck in, this position or this position. You're really moving fluidly through all of the different places on your ukulele, and you're learning new places where you can play those notes. If you sing those notes out loud as you're going through, you'll be surprised at how quickly you'll learn your notes. And even if you can't sing, at least saying the name of the note that you're playing out loud is going to be really, really beneficial and helpful to you. So I hope that you enjoyed going through these examples with me. It was a lot of fun, thinking about teaching and thinking about the different things that have helped me and Craig along the way. And I hope that you can find some little bits of gold in the article and enjoy sharing with your students. Thank you so much to Ukulele Magazine for always thinking of us, for writing articles and sharing. We are so incredibly grateful. And don't forget, you can always find Craig and I on ArtistWorks with our online ukulele school too. Thank you and have a fantastic rest of your day.